Do you ever think the current crop of Formula 1 drivers are a bit too chummy with each other? Look how friendly and nice everyone is these days. It's sickening. So what if we arm them all with an arsenal of highly destructive weaponry, plonk them on a 2D island, and watch the devastation unfold? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do thanks to Worms Armageddon, so let's get straight to it. Here they all are then, this year's crop of drivers, and it's Lewis Hamilton who will make the first move. If you've never played Worms before, then first of all, where have you been? This is one of the greatest gaming franchises in history. But basically, the aim is to kill all of the enemy worms either by lobbing grenades, like Hamilton is here, or using one of the dozens of other weapons available, or you could drown them, or knock them off the screen. Simple as that really. Anyway, poor old Nick de Vries has now lost half of his health, as if getting sacked from AlphaTauri wasn't bad enough. And now Lando Norris is up, and he desperately needs to get away from the water's edge. I'm sensing Sergio Perez might not last much longer here, and it's the humiliating prod that sends him to the ocean floor. A savage move from Norris. Charles Leclerc has whipped out his shotgun and got Lance Stroll right in the nutsack. Ouch. He then aims his second shot straight at the convenient barrel of explosives, and what a clever move that is. The resulting flames drop down to Norris and bounce him off to his death. Next up is Kevin Magnussen, and he's in an interesting position. The wind is blowing left to right, so a cleverly placed bazooka might be able to take someone out here. Well, he manages to cause a bit of damage to Fernando Alonso, but it's a bit of a lame effort really. As if Max Verstappen needed any extra help this season, he's got a health crate sitting right next to him. He chooses the exploding sheep to send hurtling towards Oscar Piastri. Not bad. You've got to be happy with that. Alonso's next, and Logan Sargent is surely about to meet his maker. Out comes the baseball bat, and that worm is out of here! Home run for Fernando. Pierre Gasly now, who deliberately sets off the mine in front of him. Clever move to clear the way, and now he's ready with the dynamite to drop on the guys below. Oh no, it's a disaster, he's missed! Oh, it was so embarrassing, he's now hiding behind Zhou Guanyu. Dear oh dear. Time for Valtteri Bottas, who's going to get some revenge on George Russell for stealing his Mercedes seat. He pulls out an Uzi and George is sent bouncing off the bridge and into the drink. No mercy from Bottas. So what's Alex Albon going to do then? He's going to copy Verstappen and go for a sheep. His is much more successful though, and boom! Leclerc is gone, while Gasly and Zhou suffer heavy damage. Yuki Tsunoda was watching and is also going for the sheep, but a rocket propelled one this time. Piastri sat next to a barrel of explosives was too tempting, and Carlos Sainz gets caught up in the carnage too. He loses almost all his health while Oscar, well, he's dead. McLaren is the first team to be eliminated. Lance Stroll now, and he goes with the simple but effective move of blasting a bazooka into Esteban Ocon's face. Ocon survives, and now it's his turn to try and get revenge. But the grenade bounces off of Stroll's head and harmlessly onto the bridge. Zhou's clearly had enough of standing next to Gasly and opts to fire punch him into the water. That little lake in the middle is proving to be a proper death trap. Nico Hulkenberg's going to nab that weapons crate and oh wow, it's a banana bomb. Probably the most entertaining weapon in the game. This could do a hilarious amount of damage. Here it goes, straight towards Hamilton, whose treehouse is absolutely obliterated and he's sent flying off the screen. De Vries gets taken out in the crossfire too, while Nico escapes relatively unscathed. What a shot! Back round to Verstappen, who I think is going to put Sainz out of his misery. There he goes, and now that's half the worms gone. We're down to the final 10, so these are the point scorers. It's about time someone knocked Verstappen off his perch, and Alonso is going to attempt to do literally just that with a homing pigeon, as you do. The pigeon comes in from behind, which saves Max somewhat, and he's still left with more than 100 hit points. Oh well, nice try Nando. Ocon wants a health crate, and then tries to ninja rope away from Death Lake. But what's happened here? He's got stuck on a pixel of destroyed bridge. He's had a bit of a shocker so far as Esteban, although he's able to rescue himself here. Ocon then sends out a deadly granny, who detonates herself right next to Bottas, halving his health. Good move in the end from Esteban. Will Bottas now return the favour? No, he decides to line up Stroll instead. He does some damage, Not an overly exciting play though. I'd forgotten about Magnusson over on that side of the map, as had most of the other Worms by the looks of it. He decides to get himself slightly more into the action by teleporting over towards his teammate, grabbing the extra health in the process. But he's made himself a prime target for Sonoda, who launches a homing missile at him. Kevin survives though, with a slight headache probably. Stroll's had beef with Ocon all day, and decides to Robin Hood his ass at point blank range. Instead of moving, he then lines up his second shot at Joe and plops him into Death Lake. Good shooting from our pro archer. Ocon's third turn of the game now, and he's going with the homing missile at Sonoda's tree. But once again it's a bit naff, and does a pitiful 17 combined damage to Yuki and Albon. It's still anyone's game as Bottas manoeuvres his way around the map. Verstappen has the most health, and Valtteri wants to do something about that with a holy hand grenade. Holy crap. It's a fantastic shot and Max is launched towards the heavens. Wow, that was awesome. Albon's prepping the mad cows and makes a brave jump to a tiny nub of land. It's the perfect position to drop his weapons of moose destruction on the unsuspecting Stroll. And that's the end of him. It leaves Haas as the only team with both of its drivers still alive. While it was a nice play by Albon, he's left himself open to be blasted by Sonoda, who obliges with a bazooka shot. Alex bounces into Ocon, but manages to avoid falling into the water. Alonso's on the move and does a spot of tree climbing. He's going with another pigeon, and this one is a lot more deadly than his previous attempt. Haas instantly goes from 2 drivers to 1, and then none. We're down to the final 5. Fernando's clearly a threat hidden away over there, so Ocon calls in an airstrike. But it wouldn't be an Ocon play without it being somewhat underwhelming, and sure enough Alonso is able to remain standing. What a tank of a worm. It's been a while since we've had a sheep, so Bottas sends some exploding mutton to the guys below him. But he's missed his mark somewhat, causing just a mild bruise to Albon. Now it's Alex's turn and he opts to go after the guy with the most health. That's Sonoda, and his airstrike is judged to perfection as Yuki tumbles off his tree and into the water. Alonso is still a bit separated from the others, but it means his own airstrike could potentially hit all 3 of them. And it does, which is enough to finish off Albon. Ocon barely hangs on with 7 HP, but he's guaranteed a podium now. Ocon's got a decision now. He could kill one of the others, but that's a surefire way to finish second. So he goes for the weapons crates and hope Bottas and Alonso duke it out instead. Smart thinking. Bottas has to target Alonso, and he's using the homing missile to do so. This should finish Fernando off, and sure enough he's flung off the screen. And Ocon has his chance to steal the victory, despite being utterly useless throughout the entire match so far. So what's he going to do? He's chosen the napalm strike, okay. Down it comes, and that is a lot of flames. Bottas is getting singed, and it's enough to drop him into the water, much to his relief I would imagine. Death Lake claims one final victim, and somehow, despite playing like a complete turnip, our overall winner, with just 7 hit points remaining, is Esteban Ocon. Congratulations! And here are the final results. I hope you found that fun. I certainly enjoyed playing this absolute classic. You can't beat a bit of Worms, even if it isn't an old racing game. Well, at least it's old. Anyway, thanks for watching, and goodbye.